have you guys seen any good movies lately? I know Malignant was a big release that came out recently. Has everybody seen Malignant?
I have.
Mm-hmm.
I
Saw it
saw
today.
like less than half of it. I haven't finished it yet.
Yeah.
Laundry Art, thank you for the $50 super chat, sir. Very, very kind of
Oh,
you.
Jesus,
thank
Laundry.
you.
Didn't even say
So-
Very,
anything.
very kind
Because
of you.
the soda is from Laundry as well.
Thank
That's
you, Laundry.
Wild Bill's strawberry cream.
Hey.
Very kind of you, sir. Thank you very much. In honor of you, I'm going to put Eli Roth on the screen
Please
for the
don't.
rest of.
Absolutely not.
Okay,
Hey.
we got the Hulkster.
Okay,
We're giving you the
that's
Hulkster.
I can
Brother.
deal with that.
There you
I'm
go.
not sure that I think it's getting better.
Thank you, brother.
Hulk Hogan, the real master of horror.
True.
But yeah, we appreciate that, Laundry Art. Very kind of you. Very generous. Appreciate that. So yeah, back to Malignant. Yes. What were your all's thoughts on Malignant?
I had fun with it. I figured, well, it's James Wan's 2 hours, and I'm sure I'll like something in this movie. And I turned out liking more than I thought I would like, because that was kind of a bonkers twist. Also, I like seeing more gore, more practical effects, and I just wasn't expecting. I thought, maybe just like go a little bit crazier with it. You're already going weird with it. Just keep going. Keep going.
Yeah.
But,
I agree. Yeah, I felt like I'm in the minority because Twitter, there's a lot of negative about it, and rightfully so. Some people don't have to like a movie, but I really enjoyed Malignant.
I
Big time.
haven't seen any negativity toward that movie online.
Oh,
I
I got
have.
messed. Oh, I have
I
seen
have.
a bunch.
Yeah.
But so I sat down today to watch it, and I was very ready to not like it because I'm not a James Wan guy. I don't like jump scares, and I don't like cheap ghost jump scares that go nowhere. And he's like the king of that. I know. Me and Christian are on different sides of the fence, but that's okay. We still are We're still neighbors and partners. I really liked most of it, like way more than I thought I would. The fact that it wants to be a bad early '90s film, and it embraces that, is really cool. I think I should have trusted Killer Cooper a lot more. That should have been a hint that I would like this. It's not perfect. There's things I do think are goofy in it that probably are not goofy in the right way. And there's a couple moments that are a little bit too James Wan for me. But overall, this was way, way better than I expected. And I'd say people should check it out. The opening scene is brilliant because it lets you know what you're getting, and it's not what you expect from James Wan. And I think that's really refreshing. Also, how cool was it to have a film that just didn't feel preachy and heavy and full of like self-importance? This film was like, nah, fuck it. We're going to tell a rock and roll horror story.
Yeah.
Buckle in, friends.
I don't know. If I were a Siamese twin, I would have been really pissed at this movie because they're completely
Good. I want people to start being pissed off at things again instead of whiny.
I thought you were going to say you want people to be pissed off at Siamese twins. Like you've got something against Siamese twins.
So that the term Siamese twin is actually offensive to that group at this point. So
what's not offensive?
Exactly. That's the point. This film was not something you would have pitched if you were not James Wan, because you wouldn't have.
I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Conjoined twins.
But you wouldn't get this. You wouldn't get this greenlit if you were someone besides James Wan. So it's like kind of the brilliance of having him do it was the only way this was going to be a theatrical release in 2021. So
Yeah.
I'm glad it exists. It may be my favorite James Wan film because I'm not a fan, and this I think is pretty damn fun.
I was really just expecting a generic ghost flick, and I've watched a lot of just generic ghost flicks. Not necessarily bad, not good, just fine and forgettable. I wouldn't say I love this film, but I was definitely entertained. In that third act, where I was just like, "Holy crap! This is going a different direction than I expected." The prison scene where Zoe Bell shows up with the hair.
I love it.
Yeah, I think it was 100% intentional. As Lauren was saying, he was just having a good time. And I kind of suspected from the beginning with it's time to cut out the cancer. I was like, oh, okay, this I think I'm going to get something different, and I certainly did. It's a little longer than it had to be, but
Yeah.
I was entertained. I didn't hate it. I think it might grow on me with the, no pun intended, with a second watch. But hey, I'll always give credit to something that does something a little different, and just because, my God, I'm Conjuring and Insidious out at this point. So hey, a thumbs up. I will say this though, as far as James Wan films, see Death Sentence if you haven't. That's the one nobody saw, but that's a great revenge movie. Kevin Bacon's fantastic, and John Goodman is quite the evil bastard in that movie. So check it out.
Based on a great novel, by the way. The only thing I would change about the movie, to be honest with you, I would shorten it. An editor would be good for that film. Yeah. That video game sequence in the middle of the film, or in the 3/4 way point in that film, whereas it just becomes a freaking video game for like 4 minutes.
Oh, the chase.
Not okay with that. Man, it's goofy. It's like watching a Venom or Spider-Man film in the middle of this horror movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I just wouldn't do it. I would have cut the whole sequence and just done I would even have had the villain enter the room and then cut to like the aftermath. It would have been far more effective than the silly like gymnastic like video game Avatar shit.
Yeah.
But you know what? I will say that when you finally got the reveal of what you were dealing with on that fuzzy videotape, I was pretty down. I was pretty much like, okay, this is what I love about, grimy 1988 to 1993 horror films. Right before the drought, this felt like a film that would have come out right before the Great Horror Drought began, something in that time period between I, Maniac and Candyman, somewhere in there.
It would have been a Trimark release,
definitely.
Yeah,
a Trimark release for sure. Probably produced by like Stuart Gordon or Brian Usna, you know what I mean? So,
I think it'll get a cult following in a few years. I think people come around to it.
I went into it with no expectations. I just thought the trailer looked really good. And I don't know, maybe I was in the wrong mind frame, but I was ready to bow out of that movie about halfway through. I was just like, I hate the characters. It's boring. And then Dan said, hey, the third act gets pretty wild. So I held on to the third act, and I was like, okay, all right, here we go.
Make some trims. That's the thing. It didn't need to be 2 hours. It's a 90-minute movie for a B movie. Yes. I mean, that's why I couldn't go much higher than what I did in my review, because it's like, man, it just 90 minutes minimum or maximum. It didn't need to be 2 hours, but the fun is there if you stick around. So,
This actually is a good bridge to a side conversation, which is that the reason we're seeing movies being made longer and letting them make, these 120-minute horror movies, which is kind of preposterous, is because they know their ultimate life will be on streaming, whereas the longer something is, that's the more hours of entertainment a platform can say they have. So it's not like the theater fill and spill model where you want to get them in, give them enough time to eat their popcorn, drink their drink, and get them the hell out so you can clean the theater and shuttle more people in.
Yeah, but I mean, I do think it's good for the genre. It's a non-franchise movie that people are talking about and that a lot of people seem to love. So I mean, that's good. And I like James Wan. I've liked most of his movies. I agree. I'm glad it's not just another Insidious, Conjuring kind of deal.
Which is a lot of what that audience was that probably was watching that film. The Conjuring audience, not necessarily James Wan audience people, but The Conjuring, from the makers of The Conjuring. I mean, they make sure to put that in all the adverts.
I had so much more fun with this than any Conjuring film, including the first. Yeah,
I was so joyous when I was like, this is the most batch movie I've ever seen. Thank you. It makes it's so ridiculous in what it is. Thank you. Because I get burnt out on the paranormal stuff. That's fake too. Let's be real. So if we're gonna be fake, let's be really fake. Let's have really big fake tits. So this was really big fake tits to me.
That's a good analogy for this movie. Really big fake boobs. That's a good analogy for this movie.
But also, can we just say that Akila Cooper is the real thing? She's one of us. She's a horror fan. I mean, if that's not blatant at this point, I don't know what is. So, love you. Awesome. Keep going.
Subscribe to the Region Free YouTube channel and also check out the Patreon to get exclusive content and become a Regionaire.